heard any story about Jean Béliveau when you were younger in New Brunswick?
Yeah, first off, it's an honor, obviously, to win this award. A trophy with the name of Jean Béliveau on it is doesn't matter what it is, it's an honor. We all know his history within hockey, within the Canadians, within the country of Canada. It's obviously I've never got to meet him or anything, but hearing the stories from my grandfather and my father, watching on TV, and we all know his place in the game and the place in the organization, and so for me it's a tremendous honor, he was a hero. New Brunswick is Canadians territory, so he was a hero in that province for especially a lot of the people, especially my grandfather growing up in that era. So so it's a tremendous honor, and I'm very fortunate.
Jake, why it's important for you to give back to the people generally?
Yeah, first off, I think it's a privilege to play in the NHL. I don't think I take a day for granted without it, and I think it's an opportunity for me during my time in the NHL. Eventually it's going to come to an end at some point, but to be able to reach out and involve myself in the community and involve myself, make some kids' days better, make foundations improve, try find a ways to improve our community that we play in. It's really a no-brainer for me. I think it comes with the job, it comes with the territory. It's something that you have to enjoy. I don't think it might not be for everyone, but there's ways that you grow as a person and you evolve as a person and a player, and you see things that you want to be a part of. And I think I started that with my foundation and Program 34, and I sort of think it took off from there. I got involved quite a bit in St. Louis, and then obviously the last 2 years has been a little bit more difficult here with the pandemic, and hopefully those days are behind us and we can really thrive and get as many of our guys in the community as possible and make a difference. Especially here in Montreal, we're on a platform for this period of time that we're wearing the Montreal Canadian logo, and there's really no reason not to support our community. They support us. There's no reason not to give back, and always trying to find and make a difference in someone's life every day that doesn't seem like a whole lot to you, but it's a whole lot to someone else.
Jake, after you said you never met Jean Béliveau, but after he died, people shared so many stories, and most of the stories seemed to be stuff he did off the ice, not off the ice, and how he touched so many people. So you said you never met him, but do you have a favorite story you heard from maybe your father or somebody about him? Or
honestly, I wish I did. Not specifically, but what kind of person he was. I think I've heard and listened, and I think I understand a lot of the history behind the organization here in Montreal. I have a very large appreciation for it, and for someone to be able to go behind the scenes and maybe do a lot of stuff that people don't know about, and for a character that's probably couldn't walk down the street here without being known. I'm sure he did a lot of things behind closed doors that people didn't know about and didn't realize that was going on at the time. But that still happens today, and those are the things that I really appreciate people for. You always want to be a better person than a hockey player, and I think from the things that I've heard and what he's exemplified through the Canadians, hockey, the province of Quebec, and the government, a country of Canada, it's he's a better person than he was a hockey player, and that's tough to beat because he's a pretty good hockey player.
In the locker room today, I don't know if you saw him afterwards, fighting cancer. You're a dad, and that just when you see situations like that sort of highlight just the position you guys are in and the impact you can have on not only kids in that situation but also their families.
Yeah, it's like I just said before, it's a simple thing. Sometimes just saying hello to someone makes a person's day. You never know what people are going through, what people are dealing with, and obviously I am a father, and to see a child should never have to go through a situation like that. It doesn't matter what it is, and to be able to brighten someone's day, in that that kid or child or whatever the case may be might be able to take that, be happy today, be happy tomorrow, be happy in a month because of that, and it might change its spirits, it might turn things around, and those situations. There's no real reason for you not to go out of your way to make someone's day better, especially in the situation that we're in. We're so privileged and fortunate, and it's really a no-brainer to give back, and I'm hoping a lot of these young guys, that are going to be Montreal Canadiens for a long time, really find that time and that opportunity to make those difference in our community. That they support us. There's no reason not to support them.
Jake, congratulations. And with the trophy, we saw that the Canadiens offered $25,000 that you could give back to the foundation you were wishing for. Why was it important for you to support victims of bullying, especially?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at it, everyone knows how hard the last couple of years have been on everyone, but especially kids. I think, kids, you take them out of the routine, you take them away from their friends or schools, a lot of their activities. My kids weren't quite at that age, so I didn't really get an appreciation, but I know a lot of people that have kids that were in elementary school or early, grade 6, 7, 8. It's tough on them. They don't have their friends. They don't have their activities. They, sometimes slide down paths they don't want to go down. And some kids take it better than others. And I think coming out of the pandemic, there's been a lot of talk about, bullying and things that have been going on in school. And we're just trying to find ways to support that, to try to eliminate that and the barriers around that as much as we can. So, talking with Ryan and Genevieve about what we could do within the community, and brainstormed a few ideas, and those sort of came off as the winners for the $25,000 that we'll be able to donate, and hopefully can make a difference within those schools and communities, and really just provide some awareness to some of the kids, whether they're going through it or they're recipients of it, or maybe they're the ones doing the bullying, to maybe find ways to to get through it in the right foot.
Jake, you mentioned Program 34. Many athletes and personalities have their own foundation, but I'm curious to know, what was the process with you and Shannon to determine what your foundation would be about? How did it come about?
Yeah, it's been a very eye-opening process since I started it in 2016. It's taught me a lot about many different things, the business side, how organizations work. It's been a really neat experience for myself and Shannon, and we really had a mission statement at the beginning, trying to eliminate and displace barriers and boundaries for kids, more or less. And we've sort of branched off of that and hit many different nonprofit organizations, specifically in New Brunswick. We've almost generated $500,000 in 5 years. I guess 6 technically if you count the pandemic. And it's been such an eye-opening experience to see what, I don't think it's work. It's more or less you're trying to make something better for organizations, for kids, for people in need, for special projects. So I don't consider it as work, but what little time and how far that time can go, when it turns into money and foundations and donations and support from your community. And Shannon's really a lot of the brains behind it. I am sort of the face of it, but she does a lot of the work on the, a lot of the good points and a lot of the details. And, every year we try to make it a little bit different. At the beginning we started with, it was more or less just about children and eliminating barriers, like I said, whether that's money, distance, family issues, things like that, trying to inclusion for kids. And now we sort of diversified and tried to branch out and hit so many different nonprofits, from special needs to anti-poverty to, sports to, a lot of different things within our communities, application processes that go through it. And it's just been a rewarding experience to see where that money's gone, especially in a small community that we are back in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and how big that actually makes a difference in our community. We've seen things firsthand, how things have changed, and I get it. We're not handing over millions of dollars, but small little things can add up to a big difference. And proud of the work we've done, and hopefully team up here again with the Canadiens Foundation and do another late season event for Program 34 and the Canadiens Children Foundation. We can partner up and make something happen.
It's obviously celebrating your contributions to the community, but could you kind of take us inside a day in your life in terms of what you're getting from the community, what as a Montreal Canadian you're experiencing here in Montreal that reinforces that feeling of wanting to give back?
I think, you're just skating onto the Bell Center ice, to be honest. That Coldplay song, that first time that I did that, there wasn't a fan in the building, and I still had chills going through me. And when I played for the Blues, I still had chills when I go on the ice, even though I was the opposing team, and you probably get that from most of the players in the league. And I still get it to this day, even though there's 22,000 in there, and I know I've played numerous games in the building now, but I still get that, and that support right there that they have behind us and the organization. It's that's all I need. And this organization is so historic. It means so much to the province of Quebec, the city of Montreal, and the country of Canada, that there's no reason not to support it. It's they support us so much. I get there's going to be some tough times, but at the end of the day, they're the ones coming, putting our jerseys on and coming to the Bell Center, cheering loud and cheering proud. And to me, it really doesn't matter what organization you're in. You should be proud and privileged to play for that team. But for here, it's even more of a special situation. And you should involve yourself in the community. You want to be a Montreal Canadian through and through. You don't want to be just a guy that goes on the ice and puts his stick down. You want to be able to go out there and say that, hey, I'm here, I'm part of the community, I'm part of the organization, I'm part of the fabric here. I'm just not a pawn that goes on the ice and plays hockey. You sort of want to involve yourself in that community. It makes you feel part of it more. And I think in St. Louis, when I try to do that, I felt more included with everything that goes on. And I think if you do that here in this community, people understand that, they'll respect it. And I think it really, that inclusion factor, you're not just a guy that goes on the ice, you're a member of the community. You live here, this is your home now, and you got to take it. Don't never take that for granted, because wearing this jersey is special. Yeah. Thanks.